through this extended edition of Weather Underground.
We're going to be with you for the next 2 hours, staying with you till 9 o'clock tonight to keep you updated on what's going on. Thanks for staying with us. I'm Mike Bettis.
And I'm Alex Wilson, again with you till 9 o'clock Eastern, 8 o'clock Central, as we watch this dangerous storm threat in the Midwest that includes the risk of tornadoes, but also strong winds likely into the overnight.
And we don't want to underscore that because for most people, that's what you're going to get.
Yeah.
If we see tornadoes, it's going to be, small areas are usually impacted, but it's going to be a wider wind threat. There's a look, by the way, at meteorologist Mike Seidel's live camera as he rolls through suburban Chicago right now. I see a little bit, by the way, of blue skies out there. Maybe we're getting a little bit more instability in the atmosphere. We get a little bit of surface heating and things, I think, just now are starting to get going.
Yeah, and he is near Midway Airport, where they have had all sorts of problems as far as canceled, or O'Hare Airport, I should say. They have had canceled flights today because of storms and anticipating more possible problems into the evening once those storms do roll through. All right, no watches in play right now. We are anticipating one from the Storm Prediction Center. Severe weather expert Dr. Greg Forbes, though, is here in the lab with us. And Dr. Forbes, it looks like this is going to shape up to be a late evening and overnight threat. And that overnight threat makes you especially nervous because a lot of people are sleeping when those damaging winds could be rolling through.
Yeah, absolutely. And we get long enough into the overnight and it could become a derecho, widespread damaging winds with a lot of
tornadoes as well. And once we go into those overnight hours, you need to have those apps, those weather radios ready to go to alert you so you can get moving should the warnings be issued.
All right, so let's take a look at the threat for you in Chicago. Prime hours are probably going to be around 8, 9 o'clock and last until around 1 o'clock in the morning. Hail, high winds, yes, tornadoes are in the forecast as well. Things are about to blossom for us here around Rockford and Aurora, and then roll through Joliet, Chicago, then down through Kankakee, and eventually Gary, and then on your way down toward Indianapolis.
Yeah, so we are talking about the time when people are at that Copa America game at Soldier Field, and then getting into Indiana once people have really gone to bed. You've put the kids to bed maybe at 9, 10 o'clock, and so make sure, again, if you get the alert, everyone knows where to go in the house.
You were talking about Copa America. The game starts at 7 o'clock tonight, local time, and storms can come in maybe after the first half. But you've got, what, 75,000 people or so that are going to be in the stadium. We've got to find a way to protect these folks. It could get really, really nasty.
Yeah, and I'm sure the officials, or hopefully the officials in charge of this event, are thinking about that, know where they're going to put these people.
All right, for Indianapolis, by the way, storms coming for you this evening. Then let's go late tonight, by the way. Notice the storms coming in from northern Illinois, northern Indiana. Midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning. We're surrounded by storms. Some of these could be severe. Hail and high winds, the likely things you'll see in Indianapolis.
All right, up in northern Illinois, that's where we've got meteorologist Mark Elliott. They're watching for storms as well. It's Schererville, Indiana. And Mark, you mentioned this area has gone a while without seeing the tornado warnings. And for a lot of people, they're saying, well, we saw rain earlier today. That was it, right?
It's bad today.
Yeah, that is great news. Make sure you've got the way to get the alerts. Make sure your family knows where to go. We've got a tornado watch in effect until 1 o'clock in the morning local time. We've got parts of eastern Illinois into, or rather eastern Iowa into Illinois, and then into the state of Indiana as well. So a lot of the Midwest big cities include Cedar Rapids, Davenport, and Chicago.
And this goes through 1 o'clock in the morning, so well past a lot of times people are going to bed.
Let's talk about some of the Torcon values because they are higher than they've been over the past few weeks. We're talking Torcon values in the 5 to 6 range for places like Chicago. 6 out of 10 on the Torcon for you. That would indicate a 60% chance of a tornado within 50 miles of the city. For Milwaukee, for Indianapolis, it's a 4 out of 10, 40% chance of a tornado within 50 miles of these cities. And for places like Indianapolis and Cincinnati, it's an overnight threat. Cincinnati, 3 out of 10 on the Torcon. That means a 30% chance of a tornado within 50 miles. Severe weather expert Dr. Greg Forbes came up with a Torcon scale, and now, as expected, we are seeing those storms begin to fire into parts of Iowa and Illinois. Chicago, it's going to be 8, 9, 10, 11 o'clock that we have the strong thunderstorm chance for you, damaging winds, hail, and yes, that tornado threat. You are within that tornado watch. That is in effect until 1 o'clock Eastern time, but it's late this evening and through local news time that you are looking at the best opportunity to see your strongest, most intense storms. Here's what we expect the future radar to look like as we get towards 8 o'clock. That's when I think you're going to really see things rocking around Chicago. Even 9 o'clock, notice the storms in and around south of Chicago. Then they move off towards the south and east very quickly. So becomes an issue for places into Indiana, say around Indianapolis during the early morning hours of your Thursday. Here's Chicago's forecast for that Copa America game. It's Colombia versus Chile tonight, 7 o'clock. So again, people are there now. They're ready to go because we are ready to start that game up in just about 20 minutes from now. 8, 9, and 10 all offering up strong thunderstorms. So while you're in the stands, it could be an issue. And of course, when you're leaving the game, make sure you are paying attention to officials at the stadium. If they tell you to clear the stands, Mike, clear the stands.
You got to do it, Liz. When you have that many people in one spot, you got to take precautions. Alex, thank you.